Yo guys, what is going on? It's Lukey here and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be running through the top 10 Rebirth class setups. So on Rebirth, you want to kind of use different class setups that you would use on Verdansk because it's a smaller map, it's a lot more fast paced, and you just want a bit more mobility, you want a bit more speed, you want to get those close combat gunfights are the ones you're going to be in the most, so you want to obviously win those. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you enjoy, make sure to drop a sub, as always, turn those notifications on if you guys are new, and let's get into it. So the first one is going to be the LC10. Not many people have used the LC10, and whenever I tell people to use the LC10, they don't believe me how good this thing is. Trust me, the LC10 is beautiful. It is beautiful. It's a very good weapon. We've got the agency suppressor, task force barrel, the speed grip, 45 round mag, and the raider stock. This class setup here has insane mobility. Insane mobility. We've got the raider stock, which increases the mobility. We've got this underbarrel instead of this one. Or no, instead of this one. That increases the horizontal recoil control, and it also increases your movement, speed, your mobility, or whatever. And then we have the 45 round mag. A lot of people make the mistake of using the fast mags and the Stanag 55 round, but it does actually decrease your ADS time by quite a lot. So if it was me, I would just go ahead and use the 45 round mag instead. If you guys don't really care about losing that mobility, then you can use the Stanag 55 round. Whatever you do, don't use the fast mags though, because the fast mags decrease your mobility way too much. So if it was me, I would use either the 55 round or the 45 round. 45 round is pretty decent if it's like Rebirth trios. If it's Rebirth quads, I would probably use the 55 rounds, because those extra 10 bullets in quads is pretty helpful. So next up we have the Ram 7. The Ram 7, a very underrated weapon. Now this one right here is made for a little bit more mobility. It's made for closer combat gunfights. So we've got the monolithic suppressor, the FSS Ranger barrel, which increases the damage range, etc, etc. We've got the commando foregrip, the 50 round mags. There's no 60 on this one. And then we have the close quarters stock, which just increases the ADS speed. We don't have any VLK optic or anything like that, because like I said, you don't really need it on Rebirth, because the map is just a lot smaller, so you don't really need that VLK optics sight. So the iron sights on the Ram are actually very, very good as well, and this class setup is very, very good. It's very underrated, and I definitely think you guys should give it a go. The next one on the list is going to be the Mac 10. We've got the agency suppressor, the field agent grip, we've got the drum, and then we have the raider stock. Like I said, very high mobility. My mobility is like key when it comes to Rebirth. So this is what we have on this one. Task Force Barrel is what a lot of people are using recently, because the other ones have like the old one that people use. So for example, this is one that a lot of people used to use before. This one is pretty decent, but it just decreases your mobility by quite a lot. But with the Task Force Barrel, it actually increases your strafe speed, your damage range, bullet velocity, and it only decreases your recoil control by a little bit, and you can just get that back with the field agent grip anyway. So this class setup is one of my favorite class setups for Rebirth, because it's the Mac 10. You can't go wrong with the Mac 10, and it's very, very good for Rebirth. Next up we have the M16. I used to use the AUG, but the M16 has now replaced it, because the AUG did get a pretty heavy nerf. We have the agency silencer, the strike team barrel for the increased fire rate and the aim walk and movement speed, the field agent foregrip, the 45 round mags, which is very important, and then you can either use the 3 times or the 2 times scope. It's very important to use the 45 round mags, because in the most recent update they have made it so the 60 fast mag, and also the Stanag 60 round mag, it decreases your ADS time by quite a lot. So I personally wouldn't recommend using those. I would go ahead and use the 45 rounds instead. 45 bullets on this weapon is plenty. You don't really need those extra 15. You can actually clear out a whole squad if you hit all your shots with just 45 bullets. So that's all you really need. Next up, we have the GROZA. We have the grease suppressor, we have the Spetness grip, the 60 round drum. On this one, it does decrease your ADS time, But with the GROZA, it's already got ridiculously high mobility. As you can see on the mobility stat, the mobility is really, really high. So you can get away with using the 60 round drum, even though it does decrease the mobility, because the mobility is already very, very high. We have the KGB pad, which increases the mobility once again, and overall, this is just an incredibly good class. The last barrel as well increases the strafe speed and the damage, so this class setup has incredible mobility. It's one of the fastest weapons in the game. Next up we have the FFAR, which has quite a different class setup. There's a lot of different class setups going around for the FFAR at the moment. It has received quite a few different changes in the last few updates, so a lot of people are using different stuff. So this is the class I use. We have the agency suppressor, the heavy barrel, we have the SFOD speed grip, and then we have the Stanag 50 round drum, and then we have the SAS combat stock. The mobility on this class setup is a little bit less than it used to be. As you can see, the mobility bar is pretty low for the FFAR, but don't get me wrong, it still is very, very quick. If you do want more mobility, you can take off the 50 mag, and this might sound weird, but use the 38 mag. 38 bullets is okay. You will have to reload quite a lot, but it's going to increase your mobility by quite a lot as well. Or if you guys struggle with the 38 mags, you do have to be accurate, you do have to hit all your shots, otherwise you're going to have to reload all the time. You can just use the 50 round, but yeah, this is the one I use and it feels perfect for me. It's still got great mobility, it's a bit lower than it used to be, but it still is a very good weapon. Next up we have the BULLFROG, and you guys are probably noticing a bit of similarity with a lot of these classes. A lot of them are SMGs, a lot of them are assault rifles used as SMGs, and that's what you want to do on Rebirth to really just do good, because there's so many close range gunfights, there's not really that many long range gunfights. For me personally, my go-to loadout is the M16 and the FFAR combined, or the M16 and the MAC-10 combined. Those two are perfect together. Anyway, the BULLFROG, GRU suppressor, task force, Spetsnaz grip, 65 round mag, and the KGB stock. It's basically the same as the other SMG class setups. Pretty much all the SMG class setups are pretty much exactly the same. They're just got different names. So this is the BULLFROG. It's very, very good. Next up we have the GALLO, which is incredibly good, especially on Rebirth. It is so OP. It has ridiculous mobility. The marathon stock increases your strafe speed whilst you're aiming in by an absolute ton. The same as this one as well. Whereas the task force, it like increases your damage. The damage, just look at the damage bar on this. It is so high. It takes around about 2 shots to kill an enemy at close range, and then 3 to 4 shots at those longer ranges. But it is one of the best close range and one of the fastest time to kill weapons in the entire game. Next up we have the Kar98K. I do like to snipe on Rebirth quite a lot, but it depends if you guys like to. I do like to snipe quite a lot. It's very, very easy to snipe on Rebirth because there's just so many people just lying around the map, and it's so easy to just snipe people. So I do like to snipe quite a lot, and this is the sniper I use, the Kar98K. At the moment there is a little bit of a glitch with the variable zoom scope. It gives you no glint, so whilst that glitch is out, you can use the variable zoom scope for no glint, but once it gets patched, the sniper scope is going to be the best one to use once again. And then finally we have the MP5, which is the hipfire MP5 class. I'm not sure why this class setup has glitched again. This one is the wrong one. It always does this for some reason. I change it and then it just glitches and resets itself. So this is the hipfire MP5 class setup you guys are going to want to use. This class is incredibly fun. You don't even have to aim down sight because you can just hipfire everyone. It has one of the fastest time to kills as well out of any SMG in the game, and it is very, very good to use. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.